And look, we got a wee.
Hello.
Well, I weed just before we started. So yeah.
There is a small
Wow.
amount of we.
So wow, what a week. We've been in the dark singing the sound of silence, and a brand new round of what the fuck happened on YouTube. So how's everybody doing? Hello, Mama. Hey, Stella.
Hello.
Ashley 87. New Orleans lady. How are you doing?
Hello.
So yeah, in case anybody's wondering, because I know the question has come up before and I've seen it in my Facebook messages and all that, Val is doing okay. She's just taking a wee break off of Facebook and all sorts of social media currently. Um, so she'll be in our thoughts and prayers, and she will be back as soon as she's ready. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's good.
that's
It's better to take a wee break preemptively than wait till after something has gone very sideways.
yeah, very very true. So um,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
our electricity came on last night just in time for a certain live stream from JTR.
Oh yes. What was that? What was that about, Griffey?
Well, obviously she was doing another piece on Nita,
Ta-da!
but hey, we Scottish ma. But
Hey,
what
G.
I, the one thing that I had a wow situation at was the one diehard fan, and I must say I take my hat off because I was also that one diehard fan that would dive into a chat and defend.
Yeah.
But yikes!
There is a certain element though of read the room, because you're not going to convince people that have already either made up their mind or know nothing about it, because they're not there to listen to you, random person, just the same way like people aren't here to listen to me, because that would be weird. I would be taking you all for a mental health checkup if that was the case. What is It's very strange that people somehow think that they're going to go into a chat and just pull a complete 180, and that doesn't work out well. It doesn't. It just doesn't. Especially if you're swearing. It just little
Yeah,
Miss Sunshine.
and and derogatory and derogatory in such a big way. I mean,
mm. For somebody
oh,
who now, did everybody see? Did everybody see this live stream, or are we just
I I doubt everybody's seen it, but wow,
it was a lot. Because
it was a lot.
in short, to give some perspective, because I'm all about the context, because it all matters.
Yeah.
Nita had done a live stream the day before, um, and it was centered around another creator who had used her work, her video that was maybe 5 minutes long, in total. And
That
she,
All American Cartel LLC guy, dude.
yes.
Okay.
And she was very annoyed because she hadn't been credited properly. It had evidently been screen recorded and then reused.
Yeah.
And while she may have had a point, as usual, the delivery was maybe a little bit lacking of that message. Mr. All American came into the chat, and it all went a bit weird because he said a couple of things that weren't overly aggressive, but was just like, what is even happening? You're accusing me of stealing, which she had been, maybe just a wee bit forceful with the the point. And so it ended with him calling the chat chicken heads, and then him being blocked from the chat, which is, her right. But so that happened, and then the rest of more than an hour was spent watching the same video over and over and over again. And Nita saying how bad Mr. All American's attitude was. Now, hold that same energy, that same don't go into anybody else's chat showing your arsehole kind of energy, okay? Then we have yesterday. Little Miss Sunshine going into JTR's chat. Initially, we're just demanding receipts. The attitude was apparent from the get-go, and it only got worse because then she was just outright cursing at JTR, which, not many creators are going to take
Yeah,
well.
that's the best way to get them to be your friend. I mean, why
Yeah.
not?
And to be fair to JTR, if it was Tiffany Marie, if it was anybody else, Benny, they would have ridiculed her from 10 ways to Sunday and then thrown her out. That's
Yeah.
not what JTR did. And as much as I have disagreements with JTRs on many levels, this was handled not quite the way I would have done it, but expertly nonetheless. The level of dripping sarcasm and patronizing tone was perfect because it was the perfect counterbalance to the aggression that was coming forward from Miss Kitty, who's going to get a shout out because I find your attitude terrible for somebody who claims to be a sunshine. Fucking terrible, love. Terrible. Take that up with me, not Griffey. Me. You can come to
Oh,
me.
she can come at me all she wants to anyway. I'll probably just reply in pretty much the same way that JTR did.
But it was hilarious because she was just like, oh, you wanted receipts? Here's your receipts. The point of all of this was the entire time I knew it, JTR knew it, and Miss Kitty knew it. That the very receipt she was demanding, I had saw, JTR definitely had, and Kitty knew existed, and yet she was trying to call her bluff. That wrong person to do that with. Wrong person, girl. Wrong. You messed up. You messed up big.
Hey there, Dragon. Hey, Lisa Jones. Yeah, no. I had moments, right? Because my internet was in and out, but the names,
Yeah.
and I had that same idea, the way that you said now, um, that all American dude said, called them chicken heads, and there was a big issue about that.
Oh, it was a very personal
But
affront. Personal,
damn,
it
did
was.
you see the names that JTR was called? What
Yeah.
a trifling ass bitch.
A trifling ass hoe.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask.
And
Wow.
she, yeah, outright was calling her every name you can imagine. Now, again, possibly not the best way to advertise her sunshines. Not possibly not the best. If you were going to go, you know, there's a way to do that that could have been so much better managed by everyone. For a start, where was Nita? Um, JTR would have happily engaged Nita on an equal basis,
True.
and that opportunity did not arise. Somehow, then, several sunshines poured in one after the other, especially when it didn't go so well for Kitty Kitty. And even they went quiet because they were just like, what is even happening here? Nobody was being that aggressive to her in return. It was
You
very
see,
strange. Very strange.
that's just one of the things that I find hysterically laughable about the antics of YouTube. Because you sit and think about that stream that JTR had last night. It's all well and good to go and defend. But if you're defending where you know that
Yeah.
who you're defending is actually wrong,
Yeah.
and it's not that I don't get the vibe out of JTR that she wants Nita taken off of YouTube, or
No.
that she wants to destroy her channel or
No.
anything like that. The only point that I've ever gotten from her is that it's basically do better.
Yeah.
Do better.
Yeah. Because she's never once ridiculed the work that Nita does. Never once. And that
Yeah,
I will respect 10 Ways to Sundays, because it's not a case of my opinion's different than your opinion, therefore you're wrong. That's not what's happening. It's a
true.
please don't take advantage of the few people that you do have there. Don't hurt those people. And I support that. I can agree with that entirely. I think all of us would support that, you know.
And then she flipped over and showed the fashion show that Ziggy was having with the mouse. Oh, wow. Wow.
God love her. I mean, God love her. I understand what Ziggy tries to do, but God love her. I mean, jeez, oh.
Uh, I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't watch Ziggy. I'm never been subscribed to the chick. Never will be. I mean, I'm not. With me, I'm not a yo-yo. I don't go one day. Oh, I like this person. They're the best block of cheese in the fucking grocery store. And the next minute, no, I hate them. And then a little while later, oh no, I love them. No.
Yeah,
If
I
you show
can't
me
do
the
that
ad,
either.
sorry.
Yeah. If I once I see that you are not a good human, it's very different from me disagreeing with you. We all disagree with people on a daily basis,
Yeah.
but there's people that I just don't want to associate with, and I will stick by that. And unfortunately, that's not the way the YouTube game is played.
Yeah.
As I'm watching, you talk about a merry dance this week, Griffey. I will not talk about some of it because the language would go very sideways. But
Well,
um,
we're 15 minutes in. You're safe.
I know I got about forgot myself a wee minute ago. Sorry about that. It just sort of fell out. there, I was trying. I haven't been well the past few days either, so I'm not on. I'm gonna do my. I'm gonna do my thing now. I'm on triple antibiotics. I don't need $17 because they're already paid for. But needless to say, the effects of triple antibiotics are grim. They're just grim. Let me tell you that. I don't know whether I'm liquidizing from the inside out. I don't know whether bits are just disappearing. I'm confused at this point. It's all a bit of a trauma. So the past few days have been a blur. So forgive me if I'm a bit sideways more than normal.
Well,
Please.
then I feel a bit more shitty than would normally do with this load shedding crap. Yeah, guys in the chat, you gotta see. I sent we our load shedding schedule, but only the one for today, to say, guess what? We'll be able to live stream if they don't change the schedule.
Yeah.
So once again, if everything goes dark, you know why. But yeah, no, yeah, I feel bad not being able to be there. I mean, I won't be able to like swim over to the UK, to Ireland to come and check that you're okay and give you your meds and
Well,
make sure everything's all fine and dandy. But you know what I mean. Digitally, I wish I
look,
could be there more.
I knew that, and the feeling goes always. I hope you all knew that. I think there's a lot of us that have that same feeling. I know that when I pinged open Discord today, the amount of notifications make me feel very popular at one point. It makes me feel like I might have some sort of a personality, but on the other side of it, I was like, oh my good lord, I'm going to need a secretary. I'm going to have to train one of the dogs to type or something because this is
And
just good.
OnlyFans.
Right? Right? I have not sent any nudes to Dolly. There are no nudes for Dolly. That is all.
Yeah, Dolly, what? Dolly's girlfriend or something? Yeah, wow. That was also wow.
Thank you, Lisa Jones. Thank me all the medicines. Um,
So,
there's the girlfriend,
yeah.
and then there's uh 20 odd other ones. We need more than we need. I'm not sure how many of you have seen Naked Gun, where they talk about the safe sex scene, where they're like, "Would you like to have safe sex?" And Leslie Nielsen comes out in a full body condom. Um, um, I feel like there's a lot of that that's going around the YouTubes. In order to enter most chat rooms, you would need to have full prophylaxis from head to foot, a full range of antibiotics, antivirals, you name it. Because some people have been dipping their bits everywhere. Everywhere. How do they have time? Why? Why? Why?
Mm. So yeah, as you can see, with all the craziness going on and the fact that we can't always be around due to the fact that we have no electricity, we resorted to making tinfoil hats. Aluminium. In our downtime, aluminium hats.
Aluminium.
So yeah, it's quite cool the way Stella fashioned this one. It looks like Robin Hood. It
Yeah,
just
I
needs a
liked it.
photo.
It definitely has a wee bit of a jaunty flair to it.
uh, uh, there's some tribute. Have not yet We Scottish Mall, but I do have it up on my playlist. I have quite a few things that I need to be catching up on. We've had an astounding 10 to, what was that one day? 16 hours without electricity.
Yeah.
That load shedding was happening. So, yeah, it averages from 8 hours a day, if we're lucky, 10, 12, or 16. All depends. So, yeah, I have a lot that I need to catch up on.
Yeah, because it's
Uh,
not just that you have no electricity in the house. It shuts off like the local communication tower, so you can't even use like Wi-Fi or any of those things, which is so annoying.
yeah. And I mean, my Wi Fi, there you go, my Wi
Yeah.
Fi. So, no electricity, no Wi Fi.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't have, I mean, with our, we do have like free Wi Fi at McDonald's, but yeah, it's what, 3 kilometers to the nearest McDonald's. I know. So,
We
yeah, and the mobile data doesn't work because um, when the Wi-Fi goes out and power goes out, the cell phone towers go out too. So your mobile data really doesn't help you all that much.
no. It it's ridiculous because there's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can do, especially when the rest of your friends are spread across the world. It sort of f shit up a little bit,
Oh yeah,
you know.
definitely does. Uh, when they do that, does the electric go off at the stores? Yes, actually they do. Some of the stores have put in generators already. So some of the stores are able to be open straight through load shedding, but that's only some stores, not all. Um, it's like your big brand stores, like your Pick and Pay and Checkers and those places. Pretty much, they got backup generators. Places like McDonald's would as well.
Yeah, because they can make money hand over fist, especially at that time, you know.
Suffering from load shedding? Here, have a Happy Meal.
Yeah. Have a
Shove
toy
that
in the
Happy
dark.
Meal up your prescrider. So yeah, but yeah. So as you go, hey Bumblebee Parker.
I
So
know.
as you guys can most likely guess, due to the fact that we're sitting with the electricity shortage that we are, the biggest question that always comes up is it going to get better? Answer: no,
No.
it's getting worse.
If anything, as I was trying to say to Griffey the other day, what is happening over there is it's very easy to see that as a regional issue, if you like, as in a locality issue, because it's not my country or whatever. You're sort of like, oh, that's happening over there. I think pretty much anybody in the UK can tell you, like, we're paying out the left kidney for anything power. or energy related at the minute. And that's only going to get worse coming into winter. And as that hits Europe, that effect, that's only going to come towards, the Americas, and as well as shit rolling downhill, it has a tendency to spread. Not like the way. The way is very special and only goes where it's hopefully wanted. But the shit gets everywhere.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just getting worse. It's gonna be going up to the point where our grid finally crashes and we're screwed.
Yep.
Sadly. So yeah.
Have they talked about what will happen on a future basis? Like how.
Well, they're still giving us the party line of "Don't worry, we're working on it."
No rush,
Okay.
lads. No rush.
Okay. You should see how many people are already bitching on a daily basis that they are losing their jobs because they cannot work because there's no electricity in a country that already has no work for anybody. The unemployment rate is through the roof. Now the ones that do have a job are getting fired because there's no electricity to power the workplaces where they're working at.
Yeah.
I wish we could too, Ashley. Really, I would. Because I bet you I'd get a job there.
Right? In a heartbeat. In a feckin' heartbeat.
Hey, Brenda Larky Mama.
Hello!
How are you doing? So, yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a rough, if not season ahead. I would say
Yeah.
possibly more than that, but there are definite changes coming across the world. Some of us are going to see that a lot sooner than others. It's more than unfortunate that Griffey is already experiencing that, but again, for the people that don't understand, can you imagine having your electricity turned off every couple of hours? You know,
Yeah.
and you don't know when it's coming back. It might be back on in 2 hours. It might be back on in 4. Hopefully, it tells you it's going to be back on then, but you don't know. It's like a wee surprise. Who knows? It's very exciting.
You know, where we get our schedule, you'd actually laugh at this. Where we get our schedule, it's an app called Eskom Se Push, right? Meaning Eskom's push, but it's technically a play on words because it's supposed to be Eskom's other thing.
You
So
need to give
yeah,
us a wee hint at which other thing. We need slightly more direction.
imagine a little kitty cat.
Okay, okay, okay.
So yeah, we get our schedule. We're on stage 3 now, which thank goodness because we're able to live stream. Because I could guarantee you, if we were on stage 5 or stage 6 as we were yesterday, there would be no chance. Because the power would have gone off at 6 and it would have stayed off until 23:30. So, uh, thank goodness we're on stage 3 for this evening. So
It's
yeah,
so frustrating.
beyond. It's beyond frustrating.
Yeah.
It's up to the point where we're really. I mean, if I were to tell you we're really sitting stressing out, we're just really worried, it'll be an understatement
Yeah.
because it's getting worse by the day, and there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. Because even if I were qualified in working on coal power stations or any sort of engineering of any kind that would help, they wouldn't hire me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I
And
don't
even
know.
if you can get an online job, you can't do that. The
Yeah.
electricity's off. Can you imagine trying to log in for a shift and then going off feck of no electric? That's not going to go very well.
If I could have gotten an online job where I could have like flexible hours, yeah, maybe. Maybe I could have a go of it every now and again when I have power. But if it was something with set working hours, I'd be screwed.
Yeah. You can't even just go, right, I can go to the local McDonald's and sit there with a laptop because that only lasts for so long. And
Yeah.
then companies run out of patience, then they don't want people occupying their facilities, just sit and have one coffee for 4 hours, because people are trying to exist. It's crazy.
Um, Ashley, what's currently happening in our country is they can't save electricity any way, shape, or form because what has happened was ever since the other government took over, they have not maintained the power stations. They have not maintained the power stations, they have not repaired the power stations, and they have not employed people that are qualified and educated enough to be able to work there. They employed illiterate people, uneducated people to go and work there. Things got buggered up more. None of the power stations were maintained or repaired. And slowly and surely, all of our power stations started breaking down one after the other. So, no, they're not saving electricity because there is nothing to save. Our grid is so overloaded that even with the load shedding that we're currently experiencing, the grid is in danger of collapsing. So, yeah.
Does it happen in other African countries in a similar fashion? Or I know that obviously the complicated structure of South Africa means that there's like a historical backlog, the same way there would be in my country, where there's issues that people don't actually understand. They just look at
Yeah.
it and think, oh, well, that looks normal enough. And you're like, no, no, it's really not.
Well, I know that Zimbabwe is having their own problems, but they pretty much have the same things going on in Zimbabwe that is going on in South Africa. So I know Zimbabwe is one country um, that is suffering the same crap. But as for the rest, I cannot say because, um, like, if you think about it, countries like Ghana and the more up you go towards Egypt, those African countries tend to do better
Yeah.
Some of them are war torn, some of them are really, really third world,
Yeah.
but none of their problems are the same as what ours are. Not that I'm saying that ours is worse and oh good lord. It's just it wasn't their own people that fucked up their own country. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. It's the lovely politicians. I mean, I think we can all relate to that, no matter where you are, no matter what ethos you follow or support. We can see how it goes sideways, even every couple of years, if you want to, get into the nitty gritty. But there's a difference between that and large scale mismanagement going on for decades that causes institutional ruin. I think the UK can see that in a different way with different services that were fought for and paid for in order to make life better for everyone, because usually poor, desperate people end up making bad choices. They have no other option. That's just how that goes. So the idea was that nobody should be so desperate as to not attend a doctor, as to not get education, as to
Yeah,
not get basic services and support so that people weren't stealing literally, out of pure necessity to live. And yet here we are still in the same situation, and our country's different from yours, and it happens here. So I can only imagine the amount of crazy. Can only imagine.
so yeah, and yeah, that is one specific thing. I don't want to be e-begging or anything of the like on this channel. As you guys know, I feel very self-conscious about it and don't like doing it, and feels fucked up and odd and whatever. But if you guys are able, please donate to the channel. We will be using it to fill up on gas and food and all the other stuff that's needed currently. Because,
Silence,
yeah,
silence, silence. Dear lovely persons, you have no idea, or I'm sure many of you do, how much this kills lovely Griffey to be able to say this. So let that feeling sink in for a start, of the fact that in order for her to even get to that point, we've had months, not a week, not a couple of days, but months of making do, trying to stretch things out. I mean, that girl could give you lessons on how to make do and manage like no other. Both of them, Griffey and Stella. Quite frankly, if they weren't as smart and capable as they are, we wouldn't see them sitting here before us. Well, one of them, but you know what I mean. Um,
the other
you were
one.
with me. The other one's over there. She's there. She's just a little sideways, but she's there. So yes, Griffey will not ask. We're not asking for $17 for an imaginary inhaler or for imaginary petrol that needs refilled 3 times already, and then back again tomorrow for the same shit, or staring at us like you have never seen a picture of Griffey sitting going, I saw a chicken today at the market. I wish I could have a chicken. And a picture of Stella licking the window at a chicken, just going, please let me have some chicken. I have seen those pictures. They were not pretty, but nobody else needs to see them. The point is, if you can donate to the lovely Griffey and Stella, even if it's $1, even if it's 50 pence, it would get spent on very sensible things. And if you can't, these two ladies will take no offense. They take no hurt. They're not adding your name in a notebook.
Nope.
They don't love us anymore. Anybody who can donate a penny on those who don't cannot. They love everybody the same. So
Yeah.
I'm saying that. And then I will put the Stella look in the window at the chicken pictures on my Griffey hit channel, but we'll see
Well,
how we get on.
there's another thing. If you guys wanna um, are able, don't wanna donate, but wanna get yourself a T-shirt, my merch store is there too. I do customizing, so if you want a custom shirt just for you, ask Mama. I do that whenever Papa gets a flare that he needs a shirt with a Spartan on it. I make them for her. So yeah, if you guys want a personalized shirt, T-shirt, a coffee cup, a shot glass, anything out of my Teespring store, I'll customize it for you. So yeah.
The only thing I will say is that obviously anything that goes
Hey there,
directly into PayPal goes directly to Griffey. Anything that goes to the merch store only gets paid out every once in a wee while. So,
yeah.
if you only have a couple of pennies, make it worthwhile. I think those of us who can see where that would make the difference.
Yeah.
And if Stella would be so kind, she would drop the PayPal link because I'm a terrible mod and don't even have my phone in my hand because I suck. Not Windows, but I suck.
Well, Miss Ashley, I surely hope that I'm not on here on the daily making up crap because if I were, I would not be able to sleep at night.
She's really
Um,
bad at it, if that's the case.
hey
Really.
there, Miss Sherry. No. If I don't have facts to give, I'd rather shut my mouth. I'd give opinions on stuff, but I wouldn't blatantly go out and give information and it not be true. Okay, Stella, I need to make Mama another shirt. Just got a message. Another shirt.
Whoop, whoop.
So yeah.
Also, you can order the best merch known to mankind, which very possibly may have me on it. But if you haven't already bought 20 of those, um, there are other items in the store that you would enjoy.
Oh, yeah, JB will kill me if I show a picture of Leo and her fat lip. Want to hear a funny story? I'll tell you the funny story. I just won't show you the pic. Leo comes home from school on Friday, and her bottom lip is swollen up the wazoo. It's like, I can't even do it, right? It's swollen. And we were like, what happened? Did somebody clock you or something? No, Mom. I had two blackheads over here, and I popped them out, and then my lips swelled up. And I was like, you didn't wash your hands and make sure it's clean under your nails before you did that, right? No. Oh, so that's why it swelled up. Okay. So, we got her some antibiotic ointment stuff, got her some medication for that, and slowly but surely it started getting to a point. So, Stella and I were laying on, well, not laying on the bed. Leo was laying on the bed. I
In
was sitting
headlock.
next so that she could grab onto my arms, right? As if she was giving birth to something. While Stella was getting the boog out, right? Yeah, it went. You remember when you sitting and you like pushing out a pimple in the mirror and it goes. Oh yeah, there was definitely that today. Ain't that fun? We all took a bath afterwards. So yeah.
Heck.
So
Sometimes it's just got to be done. It's just got to be done.
so so now she's in bed with her half a swollen lip. It's gone down a bit now. I think it really got to her, and the fact that she didn't like her two mommies very much, because whenever she came into the room for like more ointment or a pill or something, I went like this to her. Mom! And then Stella says, "But you look like a child that's moping because she can't get a sweetie."
No.
So yeah, she wasn't very impressed with us, but we had to get a giggle out of something because we had no electricity. We were sitting there popping a thing on my daughter's lip because the electricity's off and she looks like she got her lip stuck in a pool drain. We need comedy, people. Life is
Yeah.
sad.
No. She can either just tell people that she went to MGL School of Weird Lip Injections for a day or two whenever she gets back to school, and then people will think, "Oh, that's all very exciting."
Yeah.
You
So yeah, there was that. What else was the funny thing that we had happen? It was the lip thing.
know,
What?
Sherry, I love you right now, because I have that thought on a recurring basis to the point that I had considered going back and literally working it out with a calendar. Now, I had to have a little talk with myself and go, what is the point of that? Because I'm thinking about that way too much. But I agree. I agree. I agree.
Would it be weird of me to point out that it's always between the first and the third?
I mean, it wouldn't be weird if other people hadn't noticed it. You know. You know. Also, I mean, let's just be reasonable. There is a difference between somebody going, look, I am at a terrible point in my life. I cannot work. I am struggling health wise. I can't make an income and my entire life is going sideways. Please help me in some way. That situation usually takes a couple of months to rebalance, even with the best will in the world.
Yeah.
There's a difference between that and then just a reliance on other people to finance your situation. And I think most people can get where I think that particular person is coming from. You know, and it's sad. it's really sad to witness, to be honest, because, you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
diff-
agree.
yeah, I'm trying to.
Stella asked, "Did you answer yourself, we?"
About what did I ask myself though, Stella? I've forgotten already. I don't listen to myself, as you can probably tell.
Because you said you were talking to yourself.
Oh, about the
Did
calendar
you not?
situation. Yes, I sat myself down and went, here, you need to figure out what you're doing with your life because this is weird. And I went, okay, you're right. Because if that person gives zero fucks, why should I? So I had to agree with myself on that. That's how that went. It was a great conversation, still. It was great.
Yeah. You see, that's just it's hard. It's hard, and it reminds me of a song. You know what? Whenever I want to go on a tangent and go, "What the fuck are you doing?" You really are fucking up yourself more now. Like for instance, the other day with that other live stream going at people once again. I I have a little song that I discovered the other day, but it was quite perfect. So that's all I sing now whenever I think of that situation. The song is called ABCDEFU. So if you guys are in the mood to ever listen to a song that would cheer you up by pretty much taking a shit on the person that's irritating you, I'll drop the link. Feel free.
It's
And I
very,
think
very
that is actually very, very accurate, considering if you and your mom and your sister and your job and your broke down car and the shit you call art.
yep. I mean, I think it covers all the bases in a beautiful
True.
little way, in a very constructive way. Very
Hmm.
constructive. There are much more pathetic ways of venting your frustration, such as going into another person's chat and calling them names. But,
Yeah.
maybe just singing a wee song would have helped that other person a little bit better.
And you could do it in the privacy of your own home where you're not a jackass on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, even Stella says that song is even perfect for her ex as well.
Right? It is literally the perfect X song. It really is. It really is. It covers all of the things.
Yep, but all of them except for the dog.
Yeah, all of them except for the dog. We like the dog.
Yeah. But then even then you can add the caveat of, well, I don't really mean literally the dog. I mean, I should have had the dog and you just stay away from the dog. That's kind of what I
Yeah.
mean there with the yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Baba says it's because of donkey pox.
Well, why
I
not?
actually made my donkey pox shirt.
I'm beginning to think that Dolly has donkey pox at this point because my good God, man. My good God.
well, well, you should have had your machinations or moments of bewilderment because what sane man would go around calling himself Dolly?
Well, he says it's because his mum loved Dolly, right? And I can kind of get that. I can kind of. I wouldn't possibly choose it, but I can understand at least part of it, if that's the point. But
Okay, well,
then.
when Brendan was smaller, and every now and again, just to take the Mickey out of him, I'll call him my Nunu. I wouldn't expect him to go and start a YouTube channel and call himself Nunu.
Look, who knows? 10 years from now, we could be having a very different. Mr. Beast will have no longer been a thing. Brendan will
Yeah.
have taken over the entire interwebs as Nunu. It could be amazing.
Nunu does the internet.
Nunu does it all.
Hey, I got a new title for Dolly's next whatever he wants to do.
STD
Dolly
clinic, is
does
it?
Dolly does a STD clinic.
Right? I'm big.
Sort of like a
Like,
Debbie does Dallas, but not in that way.
look, let me just put on my little nursey hat and just give a little PSA, as I am prone to do, because that's how boring I am. If you are sexually active in any way, that is something you should be doing on a pretty regular basis anyway. Do not ever, as a woman, do not ever take for granted that because your husband is your husband, that is guaranteed that you and he are the only ones within that relationship. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And as females, there are things that can seriously affect our physical being. So please go and get a little check. It doesn't hurt. It isn't embarrassing. They have seen it all, done it all, bought the miner's helmet and the budgie. They have got this covered. Just go and get it done. It's always worthwhile. That is
I so
all.
good. I got so got to take a picture of this and send it to him tomorrow when he's at school. Where Baba and Lisa Jones make him a shirt. Nunu takes nobody's poo poo, and where Lisa Jones says, "Nunu, don't forget us, little people." He'll just love that, and then he'll go, "Did you really tell them you call me Nunus? Why?" Me calling Brendan Nunus.
Yeah.
What does he react whenever I call him Nunus?
Sorry, I was reading the chat.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And he's gone from one woman to another woman to, and he's not the only man or woman, in fairness, to have ever done so. So it's not like I'm shaming his game. It's more a case of why?
Yeah.
Why? What are these people saying that I don't? We all love a sense of humor. We do. But, there's only so far that's going to go. And I have heard his sexy talk, shall we say. It didn't work for me. I'm going to say, if somebody spoke to me in the way that he did, I would be in hysterics and not in a "I'm laughing with you" kind of a way. I'd be like, okay, what?
So he's got the kind of sexy voice that'll turn females into lesbians. I should make friends with the man.
Look, I'm beginning to think that is the case. He has literally managed to convince people to make soap for him, to dog sit for him, while he goes and plays hide the sausage in a different state with someone else entirely, and then leaves that person to go and play another version of hide the sausage somewhere else. He's it's been a lot. In between times, there's filming going on, there's pictures going on, there's dirty phone calls going on, and again, do your thing. But oh my good lord, in this day and age, if you do not know that if you are doing a thing either on the phone or on the internet and it can be recorded,
You're
newsflash,
screwed.
newsflash.
Hey there, Sassy Brenda. So yeah, there I agree completely, which is why I am so terribly happy about that song that I discovered that I could just fall back on and go and sing so that I don't make an ass of myself on YouTube by going into people's channels and fucking tuning them shit. Or trying to do Dolly's sexy, not sexy voice.
Oh, lordy. I'm telling you that. Look. I know that people have all sorts of different standards, all different kinks and weirdness. I mean, it could be some sort of odd pot smoking, slightly leprechaun hillbilly fetish that I wasn't aware of. That could be a whole situation. It could be the
Yeah.
baseball caps. It could be the sunglasses. It could be a Donwell's effect of the sunglasses that I just didn't realize was happening. But it does seem to be working for an awful lot of these women. It's
Hey there,
it's
Brittany.
quite amazing.
That's another thing that I found quite amazing, and I need some answers. I mean, it's not that I'm completely ignorant in the subject matter. Don't get me wrong, please. But I can honestly say that of my male exes, I've only had one that was physically and emotionally ugly. The rest they had like redeeming qualities, right? If they didn't look shanana, they had an awesome personality and to back that up with. And if they were good looking, sometimes they did not have the awesome insights. But long story short, there was always something. If there was not one, then there was the next. But I don't get why the ladies on YouTube go gaga over Benny Keys and Dolly and yeah, well, they're just wasting their time on Justice for All. But mm, what? I mean, the lab.
Mm.
What?
At least out of the three that you've mentioned, there is one common factor, and it's not viewed the same for everybody, but at least they have a perceived element. And note that perceived element of charisma, because what is attractive or engaging to one person will not be the same for everybody else.
Yeah.
But it's very obvious whenever you see certain things. It's the same, if you like, it's almost a different version of when you go into somebody else's chat and you hang out for a little bit. And some people will be like, how do you get to be a mod, or can I have a wrench? And I'm like, you've only been there 2 minutes. Who
Yeah,
are you? What on earth are you doing? Why are you doing this? It's not even like you're just chatting like a normal person. You want to be in charge straight away, or perceived to be that way. There's a
exactly.
lot of that happens on the internet that I just want no part of. I'm like, no, no, thank you. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see your teeny ping. You keep your teeny ping and go elsewhere. I don't care how gifted you think you are. I do not need to send pictures of my bits either. That's just how that goes. Just how it goes. And I'm sorry, I'm sure there will be a trail of zero amount of disappointed fellas by that, but it's just the reality of the situation.
Well, currently, I only have time for 3 men, and none of them are on YouTube. One is Papa, Mama's husband, Papa, right? That's my Papa. Brendan and JB, Leo's dad. Those are the only ones I have time for. The rest, no. No, no.
Yeah. And out of those three, two are entirely and have always been entirely platonic relationships. The other one changed over time and is now a
Yeah.
better relationship now than it possibly ever was, and produced tiny person. That's always a good thing.
And we sat and laughed together over the weekend regarding our daughter's swollen lip.
But yeah, it's just very it's like the constant back and forth of nudes and protection orders. It just seems to be they zip round YouTube like nobody's business. Is it? Well, what? What? If I've had the misfortune to have had two people in my entire life that I will avoid to my dying breath, and I mean that, to my dying breath. I want nothing to do with them. Don't want to be on the same side of the street. Surely don't want to talk to them. Don't want to look at them. Nothing. Stay away from me. I will literally stand in traffic to avoid you if that's what it takes. I don't want to have a little chit chat with that person on the internet then, after I have gone to the effort of getting a protection order. Why,
Yeah.
what? What are you doing, people? What is that? You're not scared. I know what it feels like to be terrified. And that doesn't mean you have to shut yourself away either, but be smart. You don't engage a lion and then start beating it round the head with a pitchfork, expecting it to be nice and quiet and lovely. You just like, no,
Yeah.
I'll just not bother. It's okay. You do you. I'll be away over here. That's great. Happy as Larry.
So, yeah, I mean, and I love Mama's comment. I didn't know how to tell you this, but your papa's a lesbian. Mama, I think that's why we get along famously. Hey there, pie in the sky. Welcome. If I'm not mistaken, this is your first live stream with us, so welcome.
Hello.
Or the second one. I remember the messagey thingy on one of the videos, the comment. But yeah, my memory is up to shit lately, so I'm sorry if it's inaccurate. But yeah, I just can't with men right now. Let's just leave it there. Considering the fuckery on YouTube, you got Benny Keys, you got The Lab, you got Dolly. The list goes on. I can't with males. No. So yeah, in the whole, it's bothering me even more considering the fact how many people have left, how many people have like switched camps, if you will. Um, that they everybody was everybody's friend, and now nobody talks to nobody unless you got a special little thingy behind your YouTube name. I mean, what?
Right.
It's stupid.
Right. It is. People are seen as being disposable to a lot of people. And on the
Yeah,
same token, I don't know how many of you will have seen or witnessed or observed what was happening, but I think anybody who has been either a supporter of or a defender of someone or a mod can understand how things go sideways with
yeah,
creators sometimes. So again, I'm not shading Kitty Kitty for her desire to want to defend. Her method of how she did that was very ill advised. At best. Also, it just doesn't go well whenever you have that attitude, considering you had just experienced a minute amount of that the day before, but that's besides by. There are a lot of people who seem to get thrown out into a situation defending someone, not knowing the entirety of a situation. And realistically, that's most of us. That that's most of us regardless. I certainly learnt a lot of lessons with the chase stuff. I've never really been a person that believes in a fairy tale version of somebody that is created on the internet. And I've been a mod for a long, long time, but I never really bought into things that far until Chase. And I never thought he was perfect. I just
yeah,
thought he was doing more good than bad. And then there's something happens where you realize, actually, no, it's the wrong way round. There's a lot of bad happening here. But
yeah,
that's only after I had put myself out, not at his direction, but I had chosen to personally to defend him. And for
yeah,
what? So you're putting your credibility, your reputation on the line because of somebody else you don't know. You really don't know them.
yeah,
And that's always very shaky ground. It doesn't matter how close you think you are to that person, whether they, claim to be, oh, they're like one of the closest to me. I talk to them on the phone every day, or I talk to them on Discord every day, or they're the best, they're like family to me. That all goes out the fucking window when they want it to.
or I have their personal telephone number.
Right? Right? We're very close. Very close. Yeah, until something goes sideways and your opinion is different, then suddenly you're not so close anymore.
Yeah,
Then you're in the dumpster and then some. And then looked at it as poop from everybody. From the
yeah,
people that you used to be friends with, from the people who would have done exactly the same thing, and from those that you tried to challenge. It's a no-win situation. It can be
Yeah.
done differently of, well, we just disagree, so can we just move on? Or if there's a very provable issue, prove that and leave it after that.
Yeah.
But people take it way too far. And then I've watched it happen to White Rabbit this week, and one of her mods, who also mods for Dolly, and Bullhorn Betty. And yeah. Needless to say, they both learnt an extreme lesson in the course of a week. How everything goes from what you thought it was to, okay, it's not that at all. Oh my lord, what is this? Oh my good god, what is even happening? To I'm out. I don't even know what this is. Goodbye. No.
Well, Miss Sherry, if you ever need any help, please shoot me an email. Yeah, I'll help any way I possibly can. We would love to help you set up a channel, especially if it's setting up a channel about something that you're passionate about and that you would love to do. Hey, Aquahoma, Mama has some advice for you, we. If you would ignore all those dumbasses, they go away.
What am I doing? The
No,
dumbasses? That would be
not
99% of the
not
internet.
not annoying, ignoring.
Oh,
If you ignore the dumbasses, they go away.
well, I don't know about that. It seems to be that they get bigger and they linger. I've just realized I'm not in charge of controlling that situation, I think. I think.
Yeah,
Sometimes more than others. I'm still Irish. I will still argue the toss over a point that I know I can prove or disprove. I will even come back and say sorry when I know I got it wrong, because I will admit my feelings all day, every day. That's why I'm not a YouTuber, because I do not have that big ego. I just don't. I don't.
that's one thing that I can say about you and me that is very, very similar. We have no issue admitting when we fuck up,
Yeah.
when we've made a mistake, and apologize for it.
Yeah.
Apologize profusely.
Right?
I mean, if you sit and think about it, I've throughout the last year and how many months that I've been active on YouTube, whether it be on my channel, Nita's channel, Mystery Angels, um, all of them. There are times that I shook my head at myself and said, you know, normally you're a good or more better than average judge of character. But damn, you sucked ass. Because how long did it take me to actually get a one up? Not really a one up, but get behind what Chip was actually doing with all the manipulation and everything like that going around.
Yeah.
What the end game actually was, and how she strategically placed her chess pieces just in such a way so that if you disagree on something, it's like,
Yeah. That's where I'm
and
stupid. I couldn't do that. I'm not designed to be able to do that. People, you all know me. I'll tell you how I think, how I feel, And whether that's right or wrong, I'll stand by it one way or the other. I'll come back and tell you either I messed up or here I have proof of the thing. But some
Yeah.
people lay this whole organized plan of how to work things out that, if it wasn't so devious, would be quite amazing.
Yeah.
Because I
Um,
don't understand
yeah.
it.
And I mean, you've seen each channel that I've exited. Yeah, there was a bit of back and forth with Chip, but when I exited Nita's, I left. I didn't make a big
Nope,
hoo-ha about it. I didn't this way and that way or the other. I didn't go on a smear campaign.
nope.
I call out shitty behavior when I see it, but it's my right to do so, considering that it's other people's right to go into other creators' channels and call them a trifling ass hoe.
Yeah,
So I feel I have the right to sit up on my own panel and give an opinion, not call somebody a name.
yep.
So yeah, that's that. Now, but I really had to shake my head at myself in the sense of, why didn't I see it? Why did it take me that long to see it? And that's one thing that specifically hit me once again, while I was watching that those few bits and pieces out of JTR's live stream yesterday,
Yeah.
was how many people came out and said, "Oh, yeah, I was a defender there, but I saw the light." Or it took me some time, but I saw the light. Oh no, I had that number from the get go. Um, okay. So it did make me question why I didn't have that aha moment before the shit hit the fan. But more along the lines of, why did it take me so long to notice, to see what was really going on, what was happening, all the formulating of plans in the background. Um, Busy Bee, unfortunately, I have no idea what's going on with Chip, nor do I go and check. I unsubscribed there and have not been back in more than just months. So yeah,
I think all of us want to believe that most people are being truthful and forthright. We don't
mhm,
want to go into any situation assuming the other person is lying to us,
yeah,
even when we know that person has a propensity to do so or an ability to do so. We still will try, for the most part, to work our way through things.
yeah,
I think we all come to a threshold, though, of at what point is it unmanageable? What
yeah.
can you no longer tolerate?
I think to some extent it's that need to get new information.
Yeah,
The need to get new information makes you sit through all the shit, makes you sit through all the um talking to subs like they're a piece of shit, constant nagging, e-begging, rudeness, swearing. I mean, yeah. So I think ultimately it's the fact that we care. We care to such an extent and want to know to such an extent that it ends up being our downfall for our own mental health.
Yeah. I think as well, though, it takes a little bit of a group effort, because we all can rely on what we see and perceive,
Yeah.
or what we know. For example, if you came here and the only thing you ever saw of me was being on Griffey's channel, right? And then you see me pop up elsewhere, somebody else sees me pop up elsewhere in chat. I could be talking about any number of things. Any
Hmm.
number. Is that a different me? Is it the same me? How do you judge those things?
Yeah.
What is acceptable to you as a person? And I think there's the times where we have to realize, actually, I'm giving this person the ability to mislead more than I would with anybody else. I wouldn't accept it from my child. I wouldn't accept it from my best friend. I wouldn't accept it from my partner. So why am I accepting it from this person?
Hmm. Who I've never seen in my life, who is an ocean away.
Yeah. Who will literally tell you they
Never.
love you 1 second and then call you all every name till Sunday the next, you know. It happens all the time. It's not just Chip even. It happens true crime in general. Like you said,
Yeah.
we all want information. We want a sense of community. There's a lot of the details of all of these cases that if you tried explaining them to your best friend, they would be like, "What the hell are you on about?
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but you need to take a break." Never mind 10% of the things we see and hear every day on YouTube.
I mean, the one of the things that I would just like to see happen is those of us that do sit with that situation of you really do care too much, and you are so invested that you want to know what happened and all that, that you put yourself through all of this. Everybody sit and make a list of how many of the actual people that you're following, and how many of the creators are damaging you against those that do not damage you, and see where you end up. Because it's just too much.
There's a lot. And again, it happens all the way up from the most armchair, in quotes, uneducated person, who just picks this up as a hobby. There's people who will forgive a lot, saying, "Oh, what they're learning as they go along." Again, look at Ryan Upchurch, a man with millions of dollars, millions of followers, many resources at the edge of his fingertips. He can say and do whatever, and there will be a legion of people who will defend it to their
Yeah,
dying breath. Why? Because they liked a tune that he made a couple of years ago. I mean, great. That's nice. But
yeah,
it's not quite the same thing. Or then you have like Tiffany Marie. What? Because you have a soft voice most of the time, does that mean that when you speak with your whole chest and you start using all the words, that somehow that you get forgiven for that then
yeah.
more than anybody else does? Why is that? Why is that? It has to be the same rules for everybody. Everybody.
There I agree. And one of the saddest things is get you and me, right, that are willing to accept that we're not perfect, that we do have faults, that we do fuck up, that we do need to apologize for shitty behavior when we have it.
Yep.
Have you noticed that those are normally the channels that don't do well?
Right? Because you
And the
have to
one,
have a ego. That it's the same way Jody so you'll say everybody's a narcopath or and you're like,
yeah,
girl, for a start, you are misusing terminology that you don't understand. But secondly, that is not possible. The other thing is, if you look at any position, whether it's the pop industry, politics, medicine, those people who make it to the top of those chosen careers, and
yeah,
YouTube is no different. In order to have a following, you need to be able to engage people.
true.
And that requires a certain amount of narcissism and of drive that no matter what anybody else says, I'm going to get to where I want to be. And unfortunately, as much as I love Griffey and Stella, they don't have that. they just don't. I'm sorry. I love you both, but you don't have that. And I love you for it. That's why
I
I would be here all day, every day for that.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
If I did at any point in time think I may have that, I would keep my ass off of YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you like the sound of your own voice that much, something's gone weird. Something's gone a bit
No,
sideways.
no. Um, no, no,
Just no. Just no.
no. Just no.
But that's why
And
I think all of us end up here because we see that. We don't want that. We don't want the other crazy shit of tell me how sunshine flares out of your butt cheeks on a daily basis. You know, as amazing as that is, and as happy as for you as I would be, I would be like, okie dokie, all the best now, bye. Enjoy that.
I mean, I actually sat this afternoon when we were sitting without electricity, when we were going through the afternoon stretch. I sat and I was checking the date on my phone. And I was like, wow, it's the 25th of September. In well, technically, 25 September was at basically if you go 5 days ahead, the 30th of September was when my mother and her boyfriend evicted us last year. So I sat and I looked at that and was like, wow, 5 days. And it's been a year since that happened.
Yeah.
And then if you take our cutoff date was the 30th, November 30th, that we were supposed to be out. And we weren't able to get out, so we were only fully out at the end of January. So yeah, just thinking about all of that, I didn't think of the struggle. I didn't think how Stella and I were aching for at least a week after with all of that moving that we did.
Yeah.
I didn't once sit and think about any of that. Or the fact that my mother was a shitty mother and still is a shitty mother and will be one until the last day.
Yep.
I thought about everybody that helped us. That
Right.
was
Because
that was
in
my
all the
focus.
misery, all the stuff that you had expected to happen, the
Yeah.
unexpected was that some people that you've never met, that know nothing really
Yeah.
about you or vice versa, can somehow care enough to want to help in any way, whether it's just a kind word, whether it is buying a shirt,
Yeah.
whether it's doing whatever. All of the things. Those things are amazing. Amazing, precious thing.
Even if it was just offering up a prayer.
Right?
So yeah, it's
Especially
that.
when those that love you or that, this version of life that we're sold, that those biologically related to you in some way are meant to be your nearest and dearest. That's nice if it works out that way. And I'm happy for anybody that it works out that way for. Um, Most of us realize that it doesn't always work out that way, no matter what you do. And sometimes you just have to accept that life isn't just all wonderful and it isn't just all daisies, all happiness and sunshine. There's a lot of misery, there's a lot of painful parts. But the people that can keep you going in the meantime, even if it's just telling you a dirty joke to make you laugh for 2 minutes, those things are a godsend.
Or like Mama says, or sending you 72 rolls of toilet paper. That
Right?
always comes in handy.
Right? Girl's got to wipe her ass. No sunshine coming out there.
Well, we Scottish more. Let's ask her, Stella.
Hmm?
Are you happier here? Even with the load shedding and all the other crap, it's a big smile, a shaking of the head, and yes, most definitely happier now.
I will just add one little thing, and this may be ill advised, but hello. Nice to meet you all. My name's Frosty. What about you? Uh, Everything I do and say is probably ill advised. Um, there are plans for Griffey and Stella in the future. Obviously, the shortfalls that life provides sometimes, and at the moment, it's electricity on their side, which is kind of useful. I think we all can understand that. It kind of does a lot of things. It's not like she can just go and plug in a generator, you know. So that would be a lot of stairs to run up and down. We would need a hose. It would just be a whole situation. Possibly carbon monoxide poisoning. None of it would be good. None of it would be good.
No.
But these ladies do have plans to do good things and interesting things, none of which will be making or taking advantage of less fortunate people or
No.
less people in terrible situations, but just interesting stuff. So for everybody that hangs up every time that Griffey goes live, or those of us that turn up like little lost puppies whenever the load shedding is going on, go, where are they? And just wander the YouTube streets aimlessly. There are things coming in the future, so just hang on in there. But we've got to
Yeah.
get them from point A to be able to get to point Z, or Z for you Americans, weirdos. We've got to get them from that part to this part.
Yeah.
And they're halfway there. They've come a long way. A long way.
And we're very thankful for the help with the long way that we've come already. So yeah,
Bigger
but
and
we
better
are
things. Boop, boop.
what?
Bigger and better things are yet to come.
Yeah. I was actually laughing the other day. I was talking to Mama, and she had told me about a dream she had. So I said to her, it's quite funny. But she told me the dream. I said, Mama, can you imagine to yourself if I had the means to get me and the family over to the US? Do you think I would let you know beforehand that I'm on my way? Or do you think I'll just ring your doorbell or send you a messenger message and say, there's a delivery at your front door?
Can we get a 1 in the chat if you think that Griffey and Stella would pre-announce their arrival?
Nope.
Or a 4 in the chat if you think, oh hell no, they would just turn up like demented little Amazon packages at the front door, full of energy, and yeah. So a 1 or a 4, you choose.
I think I'll actually put a one up on that one and dress myself as an Amazon package in front of the door.
That would be so funny.
Like, ta-da!
Although wee Scottish Ma has just reminded me that if you would like to donate to Griffey's PayPal, that's with 3 Fs. She not only needs $17 for electricity, she needs $17 for sweeties, she needs $17 for popcorn, she needs $17 for my pizza. I haven't had pizza in weeks, folks. I've been reduced to licking the walls at this point.
Yeah,
It's
because
helping a lot with the diet, but I'm already crazy as it is,
poor
so.
Wee is suffering the consequences of load shedding as well. I mean, when she only had like 2 hours with her little torch inside the closet,
Right?
now she has half an hour because we can't charge up the batteries fast enough.
Right?
Mama says, and calls saying, how in the world do you open this damn gate?
Yes, we need $17 for Nutella so that I can steal some of the Nutella at night time on a tiny spoon.
Yeah, don't forget the Nutella. So yeah, considering since chocolate milk is on the table, I'll say it needs $17 for Nutella.
Can I just ask?
Yeah.
This is, again, here we go. Ill-advised, but I'm going to do it. If you have a person who has the benefit card or WIC card, whatever it's called in that local area, right?
Yeah.
And Nita isn't the one that's allowed to use it without ID. Why does Nita need the money for the chocolate powder and milk, and why does little man's mother not go and buy the chocolate powder and milk? I'm not saying not to buy it for a child. It just didn't make any sense to me. I was like, what? So you could buy it, but nobody wants to go to the shop with the card? What?
Yeah, that's one thing that's weird to me too. Um, I and
It didn't
also
make
I
sense.
don't. If I had any, I would give the boy all the chocolate milk that his little heart desires. I really I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's not saying don't give a child a thing, but it's like you have the means to be able to provide that and you're not doing it. Why?
yeah, and not only that, that is puzzling in itself, and makes you go. Mm. But the other thing that gets me as well is the fact that, I mean, if I had no conscience whatsoever, I mean, don't you think I could have brought little Valerie over
Oh God.
and say hello to everybody and tell them a story and then ask them for some Nutella?
Yeah. Yeah. While Stella sits in the background coughing and blowing her nose and giving it
I, I I don't think it's right to include children in YouTube. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Oh, it's my
Especially not.
fault, Aquahuma, sorry, but I'm just troubled by that. I'm confused by the statement. It's not me trying to bring drama here. It's nothing I wouldn't happily say to that person's face because I'm confused by how that was figured out. Um, there are certainly a lot more that could be said if I wanted to stir up a hornet's nest, so I don't ever want to come across as that. So I'm sorry if that's the way it's coming across. I was just like, what? What? What?
There, I agree. That is one thing that it's weird to me as well, is the fact that don't bring children into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, once in a while I'll let the kids say hi when I'm doing a live stream during the day, but it's hi and bye.
Yeah.
But I make a point of live streaming when my kids are sleeping in bed where they're supposed to be, considering the fact that it's 11:22 p.m. So yeah, no, that's there. I concur with you. Um, I actually had a little experience that my ex Valerie's dad. I don't know if he somehow had a telescope or something aimed at this window and decided to call me because he thought he saw a ID10T on my forehead. But yeah, um, he called me on Friday
Hmm. To
asking to
offer his undying help and let me do all the things, right?
no, no, no.
I'm being facetious. Carry on.
I know. But he's like, Can I speak to Valerie? I call Valerie. And Valerie takes the phone and she says hello. And he says hello. And she immediately gives me the phone back, shakes her head, and says, "No, I don't want to." She knows it's him. She knows who he is. It's not that she doesn't know who's on the phone. But she's like, "No." And then he wanted to get upset about the fact that she didn't want to talk to him. But he only phones once every 6 months and doesn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun. Weirdly enough, one child comes home with a fat lip and the other one is on the phone saying, "No, I don't want to talk to him." There you go.
Yeah.
Fun day, Friday. I see you
It's such
later, Mama.
it's such a weird situation when somebody isn't connected to their own child.
Yeah.
Could be, chooses not to be, doesn't fight to be, and then wonders why said child isn't then packaged up for their amusement whenever
Mhm.
they choose to engage. That, it's odd, very odd.
Yeah.
But
True.
he's the one that's missing out. He's the one that's missing out.
But he's also one of those. That's one of the things that one of the biggest reasons why I actually wanted to kick my own ass that I didn't see shitty behavior in other people quicker, because it was the same situation with him. I also only saw the manipulation and came basically all the lies hit me in the freaking face. All it seemed like all at the same time. So yeah,
Because
it,
we can't know everything. Plus, as
yeah,
well, there's a certain amount of, if we shut ourselves off to any possibility of being hurt or manipulated or taken advantage of, it also stops you from caring, because in order to be able to have something taken from you, you have to be able to give in the first place. And that's not money related, just a caring aspect. And if you stop caring, if you stop giving, it stops that communication both ways. So yes, it protects you from getting hurt, but it also it stops you from feeling any of the positive options as well.
yeah,
And we all want
very,
to think, okay, I can see certain behaviors or I can see certain things that I will never cope with again or never tolerate or choose to engage with again, or I've learned that if I see this, I'll deal with it differently. But people are still people, and we still have to try to manage it as best as we can. And if anything, the YouTube aspect adds in a whole different layer of that, because it's almost like a pen pal situation,
yeah,
but with immediate contact. It's a very straight. It's something we aren't adapted to cope with as humans. That immediate feedback. If you want somebody to engage with you, they're there.
yeah,
You could literally avoid every other human there is on a daily basis and only speak to people on the internet and still feel like you are having full developed relationships. But the reality is they aren't. because a full developed relationship isn't just somebody telling you, yeah, you're amazing, yeah, you're great, yeah, I love you, can't wait to see you tomorrow. It's somebody going, actually, no, you've done the wrong thing. Stop that. Or like Oklahoma a couple of seconds ago, this isn't the right place for it. Stop now. And I can
Yeah.
understand where she's coming from. And I take that message on board and move along with it. Not leaving it, but taking it with me. It's part of the situation now.
But that is exactly the point, is the fact that we are able to take that and think about it and basically debate over it back and forth, think about it,
Yeah.
contemplate it, the whole deal, and decide for yourself, and not go, oh, but da 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 da, like sadly, like other people do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Or like people who have friendships with people and then who are suddenly happy to put out all of that person's personal information or dirty laundry, personal business, whenever they're no longer friends anymore. That tells me more about you than it does about them.
True.
That means I want fuck all to do with you, quite frankly. If you're putting it all out there, I'm like, hell no. See you later.
True. But yeah. Well, unfortunately, I'll have to cut this evening's live stream a bit shorter. My eye is killing me, and
Sorry.
no, it's not you.
I'm sitting
it's
on Griffey's eye.
it's it's been going on for a couple of days now. So yeah. But yeah, we will be back. I will keep you guys updated on Discord as far as I can, regarding the load shedding schedule and when we're going to be live again. I would love to say we'll be live again on Wednesday, but at this stage, you never know. So, yeah. Um, but we will be back as soon as humanly possible. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, and we love ya plenty.
Love
Let me
you.
say bye.
Love you, everybody. And if you can not forget, even if you can't today and it happens another day, don't forget about the lovely Griffey and the Stella. You know, they have children with fat lips. They have Griffey with a twitchy eye. They have Stella trying to keep everybody together and in one piece. It's a hard job. You know, and they're doing it in the dark pretty much all day, all night. So yeah, if you can hit up their PayPal at any point, please do so, because it would literally give them not just treats or fun things, but literal life saving and life maintaining possibilities. It is that grim. She won't
Yeah.
let me say any more. She will just cut me off. So I love you, but yeah, yeah.
Well, I love you all, and thanks for joining, and thank you, we, because what you just did is extremely uncomfortable for me because yeah, I don't need to explain.
I know.
But
Shut up.
yeah,
Shut up.
love you everybody, and thanks for joining us. We'll be back as soon as possible.
Love you, everybody.